Hey guys, it's Tiffany and you found me on the Wise Guys channel. Welcome if you're new. I'm about to give you the July 2022 forecast, and this forecast I have been dreading giving you because there's so much going on in July. It's hard to figure out what I want to focus on to share with you guys. But it's kind of funny because the numerology of the month of July is a 4-month and a 6-year, and so it's all about focus pocus and finding what is important to focus on. So we're gonna do the astrology a little bit different this time. I did some mini horoscopes for all of the signs, all of the elements, and let's just start there first. Okay, for fire signs, I think you guys need some help. I think you're pouring your energy and your vitality into something that isn't, the best use of your magic. So it's time to get an accountant, ask for some help, look at what you're doing and try to figure out where you can use your energy a little bit more efficiently and effectively. And for our earth signs, I think this is a month of spiritual progress. Yay, right? Spiritual progress over spiritual perfection. I want you to take a look at your finances and your relationships and try to figure out where the common themes are. How you treat your money is maybe how you're being treated in your relationships, and I think there's something for you to look at there. So spiritual progress, absolutely. Maybe also pay attention to where you might have overcommitted and where you could reel some things in energetically. For air signs, I think you're going to be feeling that sense of enough is enough. And so you're going to know when to stop the bargain. There's some bargain that you've made, some trade that you've made. You're going to know when enough is enough in the month of July. And so you too will be doing a form of like reeling your energy in. And for my water signs, I think you're going to be feeling drawn to the water, drawn to work with water magic, drawn to the ocean and the lakes and the rivers of life, maybe even doing some water magic with putting words of affirmation on your water glass and drinking that. I do see a new project for you coming, a new financial project for you, and so some of you might be trying to wind down some projects because you're making space for new ones, at least planting the seeds for them in July. On the 31st. The best days for business are going to be the 16th. Look for a creative streak on the 17th, and look for some more wins on the 23rd. So those are the bullet points. Now let's dive into the week by week. Okay, so July 2022 is a pretty big turning point for the United States because of the Pluto return, but also for the world. The planetary index is at a very intense point in history. So we're not just looking at the anchors of the new moon and the full moon, we're looking at this larger galactic cosmic turning that's happening in the skies. And so I feel like, you guys, we've been feeling heavy for a pretty long time, and it's where's the good news? When's the good news coming? And so we're going to look for those moments, but we're going to look for those moments in the context of a larger picture that is, it's just going to be heavy like this for several more years, okay? So we're looking for the light at the end of the tunnel past 2027. Where we are right now, I was listening to some trainings earlier this week, and William Stickevers, he said it best. He said, how do we prepare for the punch that we can't see coming? All the astrologers are talking about this incredible time in history, but it's really the future that's informing the present. So we can't pinpoint the moment that the thing's going to go down, but the conditions are ripe. The environment is ripe for some serious world changes. We have to we have to think about what is going to happen, and then we're not going to be prepared for the actual thing that's going to happen. So lots of different ways of preparing for this new future are going to become available in July. So we're going to look for those and find those. Linda Kubota Bird, in one of the trainings, she had a haiku, and she reminded us that we're not our story, that we are a construct of our mindset. And so to starve out the scary, to be mindful of where you focus, to love in the good, and to be aware of what we are feeding into the field. So I don't want to be a doom and gloom astrologer that is scaring us or that is making us, fear motivated or fear oriented. I just want us to be aware of the weather and to prepare accordingly. And then in another training, Jen Zart summed it up. She said the challenges and losses that we're going to experience are going to strip away what truly doesn't belong to us. And when all of this intense astrology is over, you're going to know who and what you're made of and what can't be taken away from you. And I really liked how she said that. It reminded me of Shiva in yoga, and Shiva the destroyer. We are in a destruction phase, right? And so more will come, but what we got right now is a stripping away and a kind of a preparing period, a waiting room period. So, hi. So yeah, we're going to continue to see some supply chain issues, some food recalls, right? Some timing being delayed, the border issues, the inflation. That's going to continue in July. All we can really expect is the unexpected, the thing that you could always get at the store you can't get, you know, those type of things. Like, are you kidding me? We're out of this. We're still at this beginning of this collective psycho-spiritual death, this massive experiment in consciousness. And so we can't predict how it's going to go, but we can be prepared as possible. So the United States Pluto return is for everybody. This is a pivotal month in the future of the world. You guys know that we've talked about Pluto return before. Pluto takes 248 years to orbit around, and so it's coming back around the second time, and it's going to be sitting directly on the United States natal Pluto. So it's in 27 degrees Capricorn. So if you have anything in 27 degrees, you're going to be feeling this a little bit more acutely, but especially if you have something interesting going on around 27 degrees of Capricorn, or perhaps the other fixed signs. You know, Adam Ginsburg, he said it like this. He said, the United States has functioned as a Trojan horse for those in power. And so I think that we're going to start to see some of the facades crumbling in the month of July. There's going to be big themes around justice, injustice, previously hidden corruption that's made known, that alliances are shifting. The retrograde Saturn is going to conjunct or conjoin the United States natal moon. And so this is when people have, like, enough has been enough. I think that we're going to continue to see energy shortages. I think we're going to continue to see even some riots, some protests, some things like this going on in other countries. You know, we're seeing it specifically in the Donbass region, in Australia, in Poland is on the geopolitical map. And so it's not just the United States, but this astrological event does affect the whole world, right? We are going to see some, in the theme of justice, we're going to see more restorative justice. I think more restorative justice for Native people and native plants has been a theme too. Major changes in government and leadership over the next couple of years. Identity, our identity is going to be questioned as a nation, as a world, and as individuals. And so, you know, Pluto rules the underworld. It rules hazardous waste and government and gold and mining for things. And our archetypes are the core of our identity, right? So we're not going to be able to avoid some of the heat and the turmoil. So facing it head on is going to be one of the best solutions that we can, you know, we can just face the things head on. Energy, yeah, more electrical issues, stuff like this. Money, everybody that has all their cash, right, in terms of inflation, we're losing 20% every month, whether you're spending money or not. So there's a lot of people that are shifting into Bitcoin, into crypto right now, more so than before. And so I'm not a financial astrologer, but I'm just reporting the trends that I'm seeing in the major astrology channels. And so that's one of them. Something to consider, right? The first week of July, the 1st through 3rd, I want everybody to be careful. It's very heated. Mars is squaring Pluto. Mercury is trining Saturn and squaring Neptune. So this is a red light week. This is a go slow. This is delusions, lies, accidents, corruption, things boiling over. It could also be the power to break through. It could be the energy to have a major transformation. But it feels a little bit more explosive and like fighting words. And so I want everybody to be really careful around, especially the United States 4th of July holiday. It's not the ideal environment for, I mean, anything really. So just, it's like accidents are more likely. Just take caution, go slow. The first week is super heated. Okay, the second week of July, where it's the 4th through the 10th, we still have cause to pause. We still are going slow. Mars is going to enter Taurus, right? Very stubborn, my way or the highway, very, I'm sure of this, I'm certain about this, but you might not be. We might actually not have all the answers. Mercury is going to enter Cancer. Mercury is also going to sextile Mars. Venus is going to sextile Chiron, Sun square Chiron, Mercury square Jupiter, and Sun sextile Uranus. So you can see, it's like, what did she just say? There's a lot of planetary activity that feels significant, poignant, like part of the rising tide. You know, how do you begin to describe the sunset? Do I start with the sky? Do I start with the reflection? There's so much going on here. So again, just pacing yourself. Mars in Taurus is really leading this energy with the slow and steady, wins the race. There's a little bit more introversion. Things are coming in quick. We're getting a lot of information, and so I think that we're going to need more time to process it, to understand it. So, you know, if you're understanding, like if you're getting a glimpse of the future and you're seeing what's out there and you're seeing what's possible and it's not happening in the present, or you're not embodying it somehow, there can be that feeling of disconnect, you know? And so I just want you to be aware of that the second week, and the reason to go slow. Something from our love life is coming back up for review. So some of the same astrology that was happening in mid-March is coming back up this second week of July. And so, you know, what's going on? Are there any problems? Are the problems medicine? Is it exciting? Is it fun? Are you flirting again? Or is it like, wow, this is the same problem we've been talking about forever, right? So take nothing personally, yet take full responsibility for anything going on in your love life, and just look back to March and see, do I notice some patterns or cycles? Am I on the path of improvement and growth for myself and my partner? Or is there a little setback, and I want to take this as a moment to pause and pivot and correct some things. All right, the third week, July 11th through 17th, we've got some awkward beach engagements coming up. I'm just going to predict it like that. There's like being clumsy with some stuff around love, being a little bit nerdy, being a little bit awkward, bobbling around, finding your sea legs. Look, at this point in the month, inflation is still whack. Things are still crazy. And so it's going to be important to find some lightness. There's serious commitments going on. Why? I see Venus is trining Saturn, and people are wanting a commitment. They're wanting something long term. They're wanting to sink their roots into something that is built to last, right? And the numerology supports that. We're in a 4-month and a 6-year. And so we're trying to focus on something at home and build a firm foundation. And so if you're not building a firm foundation, there can be like a disconnect with that frequency, and you can feel some anxiety around that, right? Not everybody's going to say yes, and some of the engagements that happen now aren't going to pan out. That's just going to be life. But it's the same thing whether it's your love life or your business life or your creative life, you know, the joy of just being. I feel like there's some awkward bumbling around moments. Venus is going to square Neptune, so there's going to be false securities. We're going to have these rose-colored glasses on that it's going to be so great if we just set up the foundation this way. But that might not be true. You know, you might be setting up a foundation with something that is either going to evolve and change, or you're going to evolve and change, or it just like, I would say just wait on things. It's like you want the long-term thing, but just wait it out a little bit longer, get a little bit more information. There's still some confusion stuff. The false securities are going to come up with the potential in people, the potential in investments, the potential in moving your money around, the potential in, you know, like even building your gardens, right? There's just something that is going to give a false sense of security that is going to change. So be aware of that. The full moon is that week. It's July 13th. It's going to be in 21 degrees of Capricorn, right? So lots of energy in Capricorn, that sense of closure, that sense of enough is enough, that sense of wanting to redefine your public image, you know? So wanting to be somebody else, like trying a different archetype on. It's not the new moon, it's the time of closing something else out. So maybe you're quitting a job, maybe you're closing down a business, maybe you're closing down an aspect of your business. Maybe you're realizing, you know, that, oh gosh, this activity that I do is just draining me. It's not helping me at all. And I need to convert my energy into a different activity. I need to do something different that has a little bit more return on investment, or has a little bit better use of my innate talents and skills, right? And so knowing that full moon is going to bring some intensity to the week too. So just taking care of yourself and your public identity, taking care of your business ambitions, right? What you want to do, what are your goals and dreams, and where do things need to shift a little bit? The full moon, it gives that full light, that full illumination. So you can't really hide from it. You can't really ignore it. Okay. Let's talk about the fourth week. We're in July 18th through 24th, and there's some serious mixed signals going on this week. Venus will move into Cancer, yay. But Mercury is going to oppose Pluto. We're going to be digging around. There's going to be some things come up that was previously hidden. This is the time of the month when that happens. We want to not hyper focus on things that don't matter. We want to let some time pass before we're getting into that constructive healing part. We're just observing still, and we're getting some mixed signals. So we're feeling a little bit confused, not sure how to do things. Chiron is going to retrograde in Aries this week, beginning July 19th. And we have definitely been here before. Chiron in Aries, you like all of the metaphysical people, the people that are into astrology, we like Chiron in Aries, right? Because it's kind of a do-it-yourself, self-healing setup. Chiron, the wounded healer, Chiron, the great teacher. Chiron was kind of the nerd. He was the first centaur, right? And so he wasn't the jock. He wasn't like the football player. Like he wasn't like fitting in with the team. He was sitting on the side of the mountain studying his apothecary, right? He was studying like the herbs and the tinctures and the acupunctures, and he was just different. And so there's a part of your wounded healer story where you just feel different, where you feel isolated, where you feel like your medicine is poison, where you feel like it's not working, right? And so Chiron retrograde in Aries is this opportunity for you to have that self-empowerment, that realization that how much you've overcome, how much you have healed, and that your differences and your individualities are your greatest strengths. The things that make you a little nerdy and stand out are what's like juicy and good about you, right? So this is a good time to tap into your inner alchemist, right? And I've got a great article for you guys if you're interested in this whole quest of the self-healing journey. But just know that self-healing topics and tools and businesses and blogs are going to be kind of prevalent, especially that week, but as Chiron continues to retrograde in Aries. So what are the self-help things you can do? This is like what? Emotional freedom technique, the tapping, more meditation, more yoga, things that are just the self-help tools that help you embody and move through some of the static in your life, right? Happy birthday to Leos. Don't want to rain on your parade, but travel is not advised this week, so just be mindful of where you're going to spend your birthdays. Spoil yourself, spoil your Leos, but stay safe out there for sure. All right, so we're into the last week, July 25th through 31st. Venus is going to square Jupiter and Chiron. Mercury is going to square Mars and Uranus. Jupiter is going to retrograde in Aries. And the big exciting stuff, Uranus is going to conjunct the North Node and Mars. So those three things are going to be a big, exciting, innovative leap for us. But it's just very irritable and restless and discontent all the way through the end of July. So red alert, pump the brakes. Disruption of peace and plans, definitely going to be likely. Things are not going to go as planned. So if you are traveling, just know that there's going to be some delays, some things that throw you off course, right? We're already seeing that. And everybody's like, but Mercury's not retrograde. Well, there's plenty of other things that are going to indicate travel is going to be a little bit wonky. I know that there's this like travel surge and that Airbnbs are like super freaking expensive and that everybody's excited to be on the road, but gas is so high and people are coming up with these travel packages. I'm just going to tell you, something's going to change about all that. So maybe finding peace at home, maybe building your foundation at home is a better use of your time this summer. The 4-6, right? The setup in numerology, building our foundation at home, you know? So if you have to travel, if you have to be on the road, just be safe and realize that things are not going to necessarily go as planned. Jupiter retrograde in Aries, it's going to start on July 28th. It acts like a mini Saturn in the sky, so it acts like where can we have a little bit more discipline and responsibility. So that can happen whether you're on the go, whether you're doing family reunions and having some freedom and playtime and creative time this summer, or whether you're kind of in your own grind and work life. We can all seek to understand. We can all incorporate more structure and discipline in some way. Getting something regular in your life, whether that's just 10 deep breaths before you get out of bed. Maybe you want to start, in human design, like how you have your sleep design is different than your waking design. Maybe you want to incorporate some new discipline in the morning to allow some integration time to be like, okay, we're not in the dream program, we're in the awake time, and allow yourself the discipline and structure to have a little bit of a changeover. So it's not just like morning, coffee, go, work, or it's like morning, can't get out of bed, or it's like morning, gut full of anxiety, you know, like whatever your normal morning thing is, can you allow yourself a little bit more time to change the routine, but in a disciplined way, so that you can start your day a little bit more gradually, or whatever, you know, whatever shift that you're wanting to make. On the 28th, we get a new moon in 5 degrees of Leo. So, of course, the new moon in Leo, this is when new leadership is called into action. And so if you're feeling a call to leadership, if you're feeling a pull to be center stage in some area of your life, this is a time to answer the call to step forward. We need some new leadership, right? We need the youth, right? We need this creative, playful, inspired, sexy, sassy Leo energy. And we need healthy Leo energy, right? We need aligned leadership, aligned Leo energy. So that's what I'm going to say about that new moon. Just be studying the house where you have 5 degrees of Leo in, and see where you can be the leader of your own life in whatever house that is in. So now the astrology of July 31st is going to be felt all month, and it's going to be reflected in October when we have those eclipses coming, those big eclipses coming. So let's talk about that next. So this very end of July, like lots of exciting things to be talking about. Mercury is going to oppose Saturn. We are going to have increased responsibilities, and they are going to be blessings to us, but there might be like an aging parent. There might be, you know, something that we are called to step up and pivot towards. Are you taking care of an aging pet? You know, something like this. We are rewiring our hearts and we're rewiring our minds. There's a huge generation that's coming to an end, and a huge generation that's stepping up, and they're very, very different generations. So Mercury, the way that we think, is opposing Saturn, the old school. So we're willing to step out of our comfort zones a little bit. Venus is going to square Chiron. The Sun is going to trine Jupiter, but Uranus is going to conjunct the North Node and Mars. So all of that together, all of those juicy little planets together, you know, the last time we had Uranus conjunct the North Node, these were when we had leaps of innovation in technology, right? So you could look at 1976 with the first Apple computer. You could look at the first web page in 1991, or iPhones in 2007. And so what will July of 2022 bring us in technology? Is it going to be more AI? Is it going to be more robotics? Is it going to be something with robotics and intelligence and military intelligence? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have a psychic hit on it or anything, but I can just see the patterns, and the past and the future can inform the present. So let's work with the magic. I'm also going to say it takes two to make the thing go right. You know, the North Node, Venus is the current ruler of the North Node in Taurus, and Mars is the current planetary ruler of the South Node in Scorpio. So Mars and Pluto combined, right? But are we getting a glimpse of that feminine masculine polarity? Are we getting a glimpse of what's going to come in the Scorpio eclipses in October? The Scorpio eclipse in October looks super intense, and the one in November does too. Are we getting a little sweet hit of what we're developing to change later, right? So I heard another astrologer describe it like this is a huge acrobatic. This is a call to action, and you're going to see a lot of people. It's cool. Things are falling out of the sky. That scared me. I don't know what I was saying. It was something about like we're gonna see a lot of people making this huge courageous leap to do something different with their lives, and some of them are gonna land on their feet and some of them aren't. So the way that you can still feel good about it, whether you land on your feet or not, whether you take the jump off the high dive of your life, you're just gonna want to keep following your strategy and authority, your human design. That's gonna help you lead you to the right places at the right time. So just following that. What else can I tell you about that? So I just want to go back to what William Stukever said. How do we prepare for the punch we can't see coming? You know, I want to go back to what Linda Kubota Bird said. We're not our story. It's just part of our mind. And I want to go back to what Jen Zart said. You're going to know who you are and what you're made of and what cannot be taken away from you. And that's the stuff on the inside. So handling the intensity, you know, if you want to play around with some journal prompts, here you go. You can write a personal mission statement to understand what drives you. This would be great, like full moon Capricorn, new moon Leo type thing to do. You want to understand what your love language is, right? Venus in Cancer. What's your love language? What is the love language of the people in your life? Another journal prompt: where do I notice nonverbal communication? Where do I notice that? It's interesting to observe. Have I taken anything personally? And do I need to shift something there? Do I need to correct for it? Do I need to make an amends? What makes me feel secure? And if it's out there, we got problems, right? So if it's out there, we got some work to do to remember where we can find security inside, right? So what does it mean to recharge the batteries of my heart? Things to play with. It helps to feel prepared in whatever way we can, so definitely faith over fear. But with so many changes going on, I definitely want to encourage everybody to get back in their gardens, to be planting seeds of hope and seeds of faith, but also seeds of food. So I hope you guys have a great July. I hope this has been useful. So that's it, guys. Have a great July. No matter what the astrology is out there, you just keep following your own personal design, your own personal strategy and authority. That's going to lead you forward through all of the intensity. Happy birthday to our Leos. Thanks for being here at Wise Guys. Please like and subscribe if you found this useful, and we'll see you next time.